Friends, what you do, what you talk about with your friends, with your family, all of this, trying to make sense of life, sharing it, it really matters. It really does matter. And it seems trivial, and you think in your own little world that what you're thinking about, the problems you're facing, are sort of unique in a way, or just kind of insignificant given bigger things that are happening in the world. But it's not true. And it's especially not true given how connected we are through social media and the internet. And even previously it mattered, but it's so apparent how much it matters. And I want to give you an example. So think about, I've talked about previously watching people on YouTube. I usually find one or two people, not like consciously I'm looking for one or two, but it appears when I need it, when I'm looking for answers, and it sort of, I come across someone, I'm like, oh, this is good. Or someone recommends it to me and I get into it. And I'm watching people like this, or you could just be on like a podcast or whatever it is for you. It doesn't really matter, but you listen to these things online, even if you're scrolling on social media and someone's talking or just showing their life. Like there's heaps of like people showing that, their couple, like their relationship, and it's kind of like cheesy, but it's kind of good sometimes. Not all of it, but you know what I mean? Like showing your life online, sharing your ideas is actually so important. It seems really trivial, but it's not, because one little thing, like you could be having a conversation with your mate or someone in your family, and you're talking, this, I'm struggling with this, and you have some realization, and they're like, oh yeah, blah, 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 this, they make some joke about it or talk about it in a funny way that makes you make sense of it, or, it's a fun way to look at it. And then you share that with someone else in life, and then it spreads. And like with the internet and with social media, it spreads across across the globe. So some little joke that you had, all of a sudden someone else could be, become a meme. Not that that's the point, but it's relatable, and someone else might be using it. It might be really helpful for other people. So this is to say it's really important, like this, what I'm doing here, even with minimal views, getting started, and previous efforts I've done in the past, like on Instagram and stuff, with no views, and you go, this is pointless. But it's not. It actually isn't pointless. Even if it takes time to build traction, that's fine. But just think about if one person sees it, like even if one person views a video, if say you get 5 views, and 5 people are viewing that, and some little bit resonates, and then they share that with a friend, or they, something, your personality comes through and they find it funny and, make a joke of it. Like there's heaps of people I think about, who have funny ways of observing life, but also deeply philosophical and spiritual and helpful. And so that humor, that stuff goes such a long way, and it can spread. And so imagine 5 people, and then one of those 5 people tells a mate, and they, that becomes a joke for them. Like it spreads, and it makes a massive difference. And we're all collectively we're going through a spiritual transformation, and, things are challenging, and our reality is always evolving, and I feel like it's being fed in like a teleprompter, where all these updates to the game, to the movie that we're all a part of, this big cosmic drama, and they're constantly being fed in, and we're going, oh geez, here's what we're dealing now, and we're learning about ourselves, and it's this beautiful thing, even if it is challenging and there can be suffering and all these kinds of things, and we don't know what we're doing, but together we're making sense of it. And so it's so important, even if a little conversation you have between mates that becomes an in-joke that's like helps you deal with some aspect of life, and then someone publishes a video, or does something, makes a reel, or does a story online, or whatever it is, writes an article, something, and shares it, and then it gets picked up by someone else, all of a sudden it's spreading. And I think that's the most important thing. So this is just to say, do whatever it is, do the thing that you're doing, like these kinds of videos, like I'm doing it, pursue it, because if you just stick with it, you're going to get better at it for a start. And even these videos I don't think they're terrible, and there's a lot of personal work and stuff and insight that goes into it, but also there could be way better production, all that stuff. I don't think it really matters, but even my first videos, you're insecure, you're like, oh, I don't know what to say, and so just keep working at it, and it'll naturally get to where it needs to. And if it needs to pivot in some way, that's fine, but it'll naturally evolve. But just keep showing up and doing it, because it does matter. And think about it as well. Don't even just do it for yourself, do it for other people, because if you stick it out, you are providing so much value and helping so many people. And the process is of you just sticking it out, refining, finding your ideas, growing, developing, reflecting. And if you stick it out, you can be one of those people as well. And it's not because, well, you could be famous or, have this following, or even to like monetize it or any of these kinds of things. It's because you could really significantly help someone, like really meaningfully. Like if you're watching this, maybe this is helping you. Hopefully it is. Maybe in the future, you're watching this and this is like inspiring you in some way. And if not, that's okay as well. But it really does make a difference. And you're really contributing. And this kind of trivial stuff, like maybe I feel like people, my personality and that kind of thing, I love talking about this thing, making sense of life, spiritual evolution, but also not in a weird spiritual, like, or overly religious way. Just doesn't have to be that. Losing that, finding the truth, sharing that, connecting with people, having relationships with different people and having these experiences. That's what's most important to me. And because that's how we grow together. We're all connected, we're all one ultimately. So yeah, you can really have a significant impact, even if it seems trivial, or like, oh, no one wants to hear my message or whatever. Like, do it for yourself, do it to process your ideas, whichever way you like to do it. Express yourself, do it even if you're afraid of criticism, it doesn't matter, but just keep posting, keep allowing yourself to evolve, because actually for someone, no matter where you're at in the journey, someone's always, might be a step ahead of you or a step behind you. And it's not even like that. It's just certain areas of life. Like we all have sort of areas where we're, due to whatever, our childhood, due to whatever, it doesn't even really matter. We're kind of, could be stronger, or we have resistance, or we face anxieties, and, we're just holding our true nature back. And so those are all lessons that can be learned, and people can inspire you to do that. So it really is worthwhile. Like I have gotten so much from YouTube people, in particular, but also other people online, people like actual relationships, of course, are ultimate, but seriously, it's so powerful what you can learn online. And so it is really important. And even if everyone was doing it, I think, yeah, there'd be a lot of competition as well, but I don't think everyone's suited to it necessarily, but everyone would have their own unique take, and you'd still be able to help someone. And I think it would just be really valuable anyway. So this is me urging you to continue. This is me urging myself to continue, but it really does matter. Like, the last thing I'll say is I watch some people on YouTube, Eli, I can't even remember his last name. He's probably the most recent one, and it's some other people, but this dude in particular, very, very funny, and his way, his language and all of that stuff resonates with me. It reminds me of me talking to my mates and family and stuff. And it's like these things that happen between these conversations that happen between friends, like him and his friends, or him and people who follow him, and this vernacular is like, this language is developed, and it starts as a joke, and all of a sudden some guy on the other side of the world's hearing it, and it's helping me. And like, it's just, I can't, it's not getting you the whole way of the journey, but it's like what you need at the moment. And it makes me so happy to be able to share in that, and to know that, like, yeah, it's just really meaningful. So do it. Start the YouTube channel, start the Instagram channel or page or whatever, start your TikTok, start your Twitter, whatever it is. Start writing articles. Try not to overthink it. Make it as easy for yourself, and like, make it so you can sustain it indefinitely in your life. Do it so it's like, yeah, there's going to be some resistance and anxiety, but make it so when you're doing it, like right now, you're in the zone, you're happy, you're having fun. If it's not going to be like that, then it's not going to be sustainable. So, and things really don't have to be polished. People just want to connect with the message and your overall vibe, and it doesn't have to be too polished, really, it doesn't. So just start honing your message, start honing your ideas, grow, and just naturally it'll come, and truly you help people. And the more of us doing it, I think, is actually a good thing, not a bad thing, because it means more people are getting helped. It means people who resonate with certain things, they have someone to guide them, and we're all affecting each other in a positive way, and getting out of this sort of matrixy just bullshit, all these old systems that have been in place for millennia, almost like just the veil being lifted, just like, let's stop living like this and free ourselves. It's just ridiculous. So it's all helpful. So make sure you do it. At the very least, I care and I support you and I want to hear what you have to say. So it's going to benefit someone, and that's really, really meaningful. You can't understate it. Think about times when you've been suffering and someone's given you some sort of guidance or had a conversation, or just they brought an energy that sort of brought you out of a funk or whatever. Like, think about how significant that is. It's really so significant. It's so meaningful. It's better than any sort of anti-psychotic or other medication. Like it's what we need: laughter and motivation and insight. And so do it because you'll help someone, and it is meaningful. That's all I have to say. Start today, start tomorrow, but also have a good day or have a good night.